What is something about yourself that no one really knows about?
What's your sex life like or whatever? You know.
I don't want to know that. You yourself as a solo artist, you're on a very short list of musicians that went on to be, arguably more successful when they left their original band.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is for you?
When I go into a studio, I've never gone, you know what, I really feel like doing a fucking bad album now. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't. I mean,
are you your own worst critic in that sense?
Absolutely. See, when you're in a studio for months on end, getting built from it, you're kind of used to it.
Yeah.
So what I sometimes used to like to do, but it's impossible now. I'd record an album, leave it for a couple of weeks, then listen to it to get it out of my head because you tuned
too
in.
attached.
Yeah, that's right.
So when as a song, as an artist and a songwriter, would you say your strongest point, your strongest kind of asset is the ability to pull these melodies?
Yeah, that's the only thing I have got. I don't play an instrument. I don't understand music. I'm not great with lyrics, but I come up with them melodies.
I think you can actually play more music on more instruments than you give yourself credit for.
Okay.
You absolutely, because I remember you picked up a guitar and you just started playing chords.
No, I can't pick up.
You absolutely, I watched you play chords on a guitar, and I'm like, where did you learn that? I mean, after 40 years, if you can't play some chords on a guitar...
I can't.
You can.
All right, you can.
Okay, say you can.
Okay.
You can, there you go. So you're releasing this best of right now, this compilation.
Memoirs of a Madman.
Memoirs of a Madman.
I think that selection's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, because there hasn't actually been a complete, genuine, true best of Ozzy compilation. I mean, do you look at the body of work going, wow, that's kind of crazy?
I remember from the very first thing I ever did, the first Black Sabbath album, and he went in the I remember the manager coming up to me in the club and going, "You've got something to tell you." And I go, "Well, what's that?" And he goes, "Your album's entering the charts at number 17 next week." "Oh, you're pulling my leg." He goes, No, because I'd got up previously to hear that song, the cover song with the evil woman, at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, "We're on the radio." And then I remember thinking, this is going to be fun for a couple of years. Let me have a booze up with my mates, and I'll be back to this. And from that moment on, my life forever changed. We all got ripped off by my managers, but it was forever changed. I was married to another woman, and then she divorced me, and I met your mum, and I married your mum, and we had you guys. And you couldn't write my script. It was just amazing what my life's been like. I mean, this is it for the rest of my life. This is it. And then all of a sudden, from nowhere, you just make a turn, which you go somewhere completely out of context the way you were before.
Yeah. So you got your driver's license a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Where was the first place you went when you got your driver's license?
They drive on the wrong side of the road here. We in England drive on the other side. But, I've still got a license. I haven't got any points from it because I haven't driven.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any regrets from when you were younger?
Life's full of regrets, but you can't live. You just, you regret doing this, you regret doing that, but you either get over it or you don't.
Mm. A lot of your songs, subject matter is very political. But as growing up with you, you've never been one of these very vocal politically around the house. It seems to kind of get directed a lot into your music. Do you care about politics or anything like that?
They all should start playing fucking music.
What?
I met Tony Blair one time, the old English Prime Minister, and he's looking at me and he comes over, and just when the Iraq war started going, I thought he was going to go to me and say, "You could do very good for the country by doing a song or something for the troops." He comes up to me and he goes, "Do you know I was once in a band?" I'm like, "Yeah, I worked the fucking media." And he goes, but I couldn't quite get the chords to Iron Man. I'm like, is that all you've got to fucking say? We vote for these people in, and they never seem to pull off all the shit they promises to get in. Mm. In Sabbath, Geezer was the main lyricist. I used to sing. He could give me some phenomenal lyrics over the word.
Yeah.
and I have to craft them into a song.
Mm. But even post Sabbath though, you've done very kind of, whether it's songs about war on drugs or or just wars in general. It does seem to be something that resonates with you.
Well, my latest thing is you see these people on the TV talking about this ISIS thing, and they go, yes, we should send troops there. But I go, how can they talk politely? You can't have a polite war. Excuse me, I'm just going to show you and you. It must be the scariest fucking place ever.
When all those kind of religious zealots were coming after you back in the day and saying,
we give them a job.
Yeah.
I remember one time they were going out picketing the gig, and I got a broomstick and a staple on it. Have a nice day, and I followed them around. They didn't even know who I was.
But that's something that has followed you your entire career. This kind of
at poor Ronnie James Dale's funeral, they were out there going, and I'm like, you fucking ignorant assholes. The guy's gone, and you were standing there, but Jesus could have saved you and all this. I mean, you got nothing else better to fucking do.
Yeah.
And they condemn that, but they won't. I mean, they won't do any good for someone.
Yeah.
It's just wrong. But you can't, freedom of speech. Because in this world we live in, no matter how good the idea is, so we always someone to go, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Mm.
Other countries, you go, oh yeah, even if you think if it is a bad idea, you go, yeah. Because you go, you don't like it, yeah, in that fucking van.